from just a few people how you've incorporated those strategies over this period of time since our last module. Thanks, Samantha. Nice to see you here today. Making presentations more interactive. Thank you. Right, when they're more interactive, students have more voice, they're more independent. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome, Kara. Giving students a guide for when they're confused, right? So they can reread instructions, they can ask a peer, try to Google, and then ask you, right? Makes them more independent and probably saves you a little bit of stress too, right? When I was in my elementary classroom, we had a sign, ask 3 and then me, right? I hear you, that's great. Oh, Santo, that's beautiful. Saves you time in the future too. So Santo shared recording directions so that students can go back and he doesn't have to repeat, right? That is a resource you will have for future years, a resource that students can access when they're not physically in the classroom with you. And David shared student use Trello as a project management tool. Wow, high level, I love it. To record their short long-term goals and accomplishments while building their capstone course. That is really rad, David. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. All right, well, if anyone else wants to share, please feel free to in the chat. We always love hearing how our strategies are being implemented and how you're carrying your work forward. So we will go ahead and get started. Thanks you all and welcome back once again.
Morning, everyone. My name is Luke Mund. I'm Digital Coach Supervisor, so I work with all of our 6 through 12 coaches here.
Hi, I'm Lisbon Phillip. I'm the Secondary Southwest coach.
Hey everybody, it's Molly McGrath again. I am the secondary coach for the Southeast region.
Good morning, everyone. And my name is EJ Rodriguez, and I am one of the far Northeast coaches.
Good morning. My name is Kaylee Parachia, and I am a secondary coach for the Central region.
And I'm Grant Aguirre. I am the secondary coach for your Northeast region.
And as we do at the start of every professional learning and meeting in DPS, we wanted to acknowledge that this land that we call Colorado has really existed as Colorado in a very small blip of time, that for tens of thousands of years, this land has belonged to the native people that are here. So we acknowledge them, their connection to the land, and that we as Colorado now are just a small part of the history of this place.
Thank you, Luke. Also, we wanted to go back to thinking about what are the DPS priorities for this year. Remember that we are focusing district-wide on making sure that we approach teaching and learning with equity by removing system and structures rooted in racism and classism. Very important that with our everyday practice, we do small steps to be a contributor to creating an equitable environment for our students and for us also. Also, one of our priorities is accelerating learning by re-envisioning education, and the use of educational technology is all about that. What is new out there? What are some things that can help our students that we can incorporate into our teaching to be more successful with them and to allow them to have access to the content? Also, not forgetting the social emotional state, and making sure that we recognize that there are challenges that we have gone through, especially the last couple of years. So maintaining those 3 things in mind. Next, please. Thank you. And also, our long-term foundation, which is our theory of action, very important to maintain in mind. We are committed to providing rigorous culturally and linguistically responsive instruction based on our teachers' mindset. They are right here. Everybody is very familiar with them, very likely, because we have been hammering those every single PD. Another one of our theory of action is trying to help students become independent learners. That will help them with their future and also make things much easier for teachers as well. And all that ingraining the socio-emotional in the social emotional supports we need for our students and also for our faculty. And what do we mean by these things? What do we mean about envisioning our approach? Equity for African Americans and also for multilingual learners. We know that those populations have been traditionally underserved. We want to make sure that we maintain their needs on our side as we are planning our lessons, providing them with the supports that they need to access the content and to be successful there. Also, accelerating the learning, and like I said earlier, that's all we are about here. So you are in the right places. That's one of the priorities that you want to focus on. And also the transformative emotional, socio-emotional practice to provide the supports that the students need. Kelly?
This is just a reminder for you all to report any tools that we go over in today's professional learning session to your school's academic technology menu or your ATM. Chances are that a lot of the platforms that we look at today have not yet been logged for your school or your individual classroom. So if you would like to log any of these tools at the individual classroom level, you yourself can go into DPS's ATM, or your administrator can also, if you would like school-wide access.
So in this last module that we have, we are focused on the mindset of self. So this module is all about reflecting on your own practice, your own beliefs, your own biases, and then adapting your practices accordingly. So we're gonna split off into like two different practices in this mindset. So for our first practice, we're really going to take a look at how we examine our own biases and how that comes across in our classroom practices. So it's all about reflection on your own teaching practice, on yourself, and how you come up like across to students. And then the other practice, DPS practice 3, is more on how to adapt the teacher's role so that we make it so students are less dependent learners, more independent learners, and have that elevated position in that classroom. So we're talking about monitoring teacher talk time and that like shift as a learner in the classroom.
As always, you'll be able to select where you'd like to focus your learning today. So we have 3 strategies that you can choose from to help you with this mindset of self. You can choose strategy 1, which will talk about self-reflection through inquiry-based learning. We'll take a look at defining implicit bias and inquiry-based learning, KWL using Jamboard, guided inquiry through Pear Deck, self-inquiry with Google Forms, and committing to shifts instructional practices with Padlet. In strategy 2, we'll take a look at how you can use video for teacher reflection. So how you can record yourself teaching and actually take time to watch yourself and reflect on what you are doing with your instruction and with your students. We'll take a look at how you can use Swivel, teacher devices, Chromebooks. We'll take a look at VideoAnd to see how you can facilitate that reflection and feedback, as well as other tools you can use for that reflection. And then strategy 3, we'll take a look at how you can manage and facilitate group work and discussion to really shift that role onto the student. So we'll take a look at the 2 whys of intentional grouping and the importance of group work, and the 3 strategies of grouping, creative group work, and discussion and extending talk. So you can select which of the 3 rooms you would like to go into and what strategies you would like to focus on. We'll add these links into the chat, and you can jump in there, and then we'll meet you back in here for the final reflection.